Welcome in, everybody. Last class we went into internal rotation of the arm bones, and we worked internal rotation in order to do the bound posture side angle, bound side angle pose. Today we're going to work with external rotation of the arm bone, the opposite direction, and we've kind of started that. Of course, we did a number of oppositional rotations last time. We'll do that same kind of practice again, but we'll utilize the external rotation in order to access our peak posture for the day, which I won't share with you, just keep it a little bit of a surprise. What I asked for is for you to have a strap, and the reason why is we're gonna do a external rotator strengthener. What I love about these internal external rotation exercises is when we do the internal and external rotation, there's like the muscles of the rotator cuff, they kind of create like a sandwich around. Let's just pretend this was a big fat arm bone, big square arm bone. There's muscles that, or actually let's go like this. This is the scapula and this will be the arm bone, okay? There's muscles that attach on the front side of the scapula. If this is the heart is over here, the rib cage is in front of this, okay? There's muscles on the front side of the scapula that attach to the scapula and grab onto the front of the arm bone. And then there's muscles on the back side of the scapula that grab onto the back side of the arm bone like so. It's not that simple. One kind of crosses. Anyway, let's just keep it simple for now, okay? Just, it is not anatomically correct, but it's essentially, it's the idea, okay? So these muscles wrap around the arm bone, the head of the arm bone in particular, and there's also a muscle up here that, comes up on top of the scapula and grabs the arm bone. So you've got these muscles that surround the arm bone that attach to the scapula and the arm bone. And those are the rotator cuff muscles. When we do those internal and external rotators, we're strengthening that pulley system. And what that does is if both sides of those muscles, the internal rotators and the external rotators are strong, then you get like a suctioning of the arm bone into the socket, making sure that it's not gonna knock around as much, creating a little havoc in the joint. So this is why it is important that we strengthen the rotator cuff muscles. Most people have fairly weak rotator cuff muscles. And quite frankly, that's just because there's not enough rotation or stabilization of that area of the body done in everyday life. So grab your strap. Oh, here comes Tito again. Okay, so what we're gonna do with the strap is, you don't have to loop it or anything. If it is looped, you can just leave the loop as it is. But we need to get it to a distance that is wider than shoulder width apart in a way that, you see I'm kind of making this V with my arms, where the arms are out on a diagonal. And so here's straight ahead, here's out on a diagonal. Now what happens for most people is when they move their arms out on a diagonal like this, they actually just move their elbows out like so. So you don't have to pin your elbows into your side, but you want to keep them wherever they rest naturally, and then only do the rotation of the arm bone. You see I'm rotating the arms out. Now just doing that, I can feel the muscles, the external rotators here activating just from this position, okay? And we want to challenge those muscles. And one way we can do that is just by grabbing the strap on that kind of diagonal outward and then pulling it tight. And when you pull it tight, a lot of people will pull it tight by trying to move the elbows out. You just keep the elbows where they are and try to pull it tight by rotating the arms outward. Okay, so it's a rotation, the external rotation. And if we hang here for a few breaths, hopefully you'll start to feel the muscles that sit right on top of the back of your scapula there, activating. Okay, if you feel other muscles activating, that's something to just note, that we're not trying to activate in particular other muscles. In this case, we're trying to activate the muscles that sit right on the back of the scapula there. So you should feel it somewhere in this region, okay? Okay, and then take a break on that. Denise, I'm not sure if I caught you. Hello and welcome. And then now we're gonna take that through movement. So that was just stabilizing where it was, but now we're gonna actually rotate, increase the rotation of external, and then we'll do internal rotation of one arm and external rotation of the opposite arm. The idea is the entire time your external rotators are active. The difference is one side is going to be more activated or winning, and the other side is eccentrically resisting. It's lengthening, but it's still trying to shorten. It's not giving up. It is activating, but the other side is just winning the battle. Okay, so you pull it tight, and then you try to rotate one side more than the other. So you overactivate that side, and then you'll see in this case, my left hand is starting to come in, but I'm not moving my torso. I'm not moving my elbow. It's just literally rotating the arm bone in the shoulder socket. And that's the important thing here for this drill, is that we're doing the rotations. And you can go back and forth here. Something that helps me is thinking about sending the elbow forward as I externally rotate. So I think about the elbow pushing forward, and that will increase the external rotation. A lot of people will move it back this way, kind of reducing the external rotation, but move the elbow forward, okay? On the external rotation. So my left arm now, my elbow is moving forward. Right arm, elbow is moving forward, okay? So whichever hand is winning, that elbow pushes forward. And that will really force the external rotators to turn on. Burns so good. Okay. Ooh, yes. Man, that's intense. If you do that properly, you don't need many to really kind of hit that threshold of intensity. Okay. Bring your hands out in front and just externally rotate the arm bones here so your palms are out to the sides. Okay, then turn your palms up and turn your palms down. We just want to note the difference between pronation, but this is supination right here, and pronation of the forearm. So the forearm can rotate without the arm bones rotating. So rotate the arm bones with pronation of the forearm. So this is internal rotation, this is external rotation. Supinate the forearm like you're holding soup. You can internal rotate the arm bones, externally rotate. Now that's really easy typically for most people to see when the elbow is bent. When the elbows are straight, most people don't realize that they're just moving their forearms. And what we want to do today is really zone in on the shoulder movement. So yes, the forearm moves, but then the arm bone moves. Yes, the forearm moves, but then the arm bone moves, okay? So we really want to get this to kind of dial in or crank outward when we're getting into that external rotation until you feel those external rotator muscles activate. That's what we're really going for today. Okay, that's the kind of hard for most people because we tend to be chronically internally rotated in the arms for most human beings. Okay, so the external rotators, more often than not, are pretty weak. So let's strengthen them. Okay, come to all fours, hands and knees. And we'll start with that same warm-up we did last time. So internally rotate, protract and round. Let's do an exhale to externally rotate, retract and arch. So we're reversing the breath from normal cat and cow. Inhale. Exhale. External rotation, rotate the arm bones. Inhale. Exhale. When you get into that melted heart position, really rotate the biceps forward. You see my hands are turned out to help me with that. Okay, now those are the pairings. However, we can externally rotate and protract. It just tends to be hard. So today, let's try that. Let's just protract the shoulder blades, move them apart, and externally rotate. You see the biceps face forward here. Okay, separate the shoulders while in external rotation. Pull the rib cage in, and let's come up to plank pose. So the arm bones are rotating outward. Shoulder blades are protracted. Triceps wrapping backwards. Take a full breath in. Knees down, child's pose, hips to heels. So reflect for a moment. At the end of that plank, if you felt that area of the shoulder blade, the meaty part of the scapula on the backside, active, tired, then you definitely got the external rotators to engage. Come forward to plank. All fours, hands and knees. Externally rotate. Start to protract. Now come to down dog. Now, to go to down dog, if you stay with protraction and external rotation, likely you'll be limited on how far back you can go. So you might have to soften a little bit in order to get into the long line of down dog. But then once you get there, gentle, start to push shoulders towards ears and gentle external rotate the arms. If you feel anything weird when you externally rotate, then first suggestion would be squeeze your hands toward each other. That might release it. If not, then just back away from the external rotation. All right, shift forward to plank pose, round the back, shoulders separate away from each other, and externally rotate. Let's take a breath in, rotate the biceps forward, knees down, chaturanga. Just back muscles, lift the heart. Release. Inhale, lift the heart and feet this time. And release. Heart, hands, and feet. Inhale. And release. All fours. Downward dog. Right leg to the sky. Inhale. Step forward. High up on the fingers, take a breath, gather strength in the legs. Exhale it out. Okay, inhale, hands to the front thigh. Sweep the arms back behind you. Externally rotate the palms and the shoulders all the way out, so palms face outward. Now keep externally rotating and bring your heart upward, chest and forward, spine and a back bend. Inhale, reach the arms back behind you, chest forward, wide hands. Exhale, release hands to the ground, so we're doing back bend. Step to plank, inhale. Biceps rotate forward, exhale, lower. Slide the hands and feet wide. First cobra, typically a little more shallow, so don't go as deep this time. Inhale. Exhale, melt. So the midsection goes down and forward. Shoulders can go back. Pull the chest forward towards the front of the mat. And release. All fours, hands and knees. Down dog, exhale. Left leg to the sky. And step forward. High on the fingertips, we take a breath in. Gather strength in the legs. Place the hands on the front thigh, inhale. And take the arms back behind you. Externally rotate the arms, so biceps and palms face outward. On the inhale, press the chest forward. Keep the shoulders back and start to reach the arms back behind you. Up and back. Nice big wide V with the arms. Send the chest forward. Take a full breath in. Exhale, arms back to the ground. Plank pose on the inhale. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Slide the hands and feet wide, three-part cobra. Exhale, melt. Stretch the belly long. Exhale. Inhale to all fours. Tailbone up, downward facing dog. Let's enjoy a full breath in here. Full breath out. One more breath. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Bend the knees, relax the chest on the thighs. Interlace the hands behind the back. Let's get into retraction of the shoulders. The easiest way to do that is first to allow your shoulders to fall towards your ears. Then squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other. Once you have that, then straighten the arms. Open up the pectorals and the deltoids. And I'm going to suggest today, try to work towards pinky side of the hands, pressing into each other. That'll be more external rotation of the arms. They are internally rotated, but you're trying to externally rotate them within this position. Full breath in. Okay, release the hands to the hips. Arch the back. Rise up to stand. Tadasana. Okay, let's explore here just the rotations of the arms. Internally rotate the arms. Your shoulders will have to roll forward in front of you a little bit. Okay, and then on the inhale together, externally rotate the arms, let the shoulder blades come together, retract behind you. And then internally rotate, shoulders roll toward the front of the body with protraction. Externally rotate, send the heart forward a little as the shoulder blades retract. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Now we're going to do something, if you've got a wall nearby, this is really helpful. So you're going to, let me just change the angle here, camera angle. Externally rotate as much as you can and keep going. And as you go more and more, your hand will travel further away from your body. You're going to walk towards the wall and very gently try to bring the hand closer to the body. So you'll, again, gentle is the key, so don't force it. I'm going to try to press my pinky edge of the palm into the wall by rotating the bicep out to the right more. So I'm going to try to rotate here out to the right more to get the pinky edge of the hand towards the wall more. That's going to be a deep external rotation. Now I'm not just using the wall to get into this external rotation. I'm actively trying to pull my thumb towards my thigh, and I'm actively trying to press this pinky edge of the palm into the wall by rotating, okay? So the rotator muscles are tired. Okay, and then relax and switch sides. Rotate the arm externally all the way, all the way, all the way. And then try to press the pinky pad of the hand into the wall. And then gently kind of bring your arm closer into your side. And while you do that, again, don't just let the wall and your body do the work of external rotation. Well, your torso, I should say. But rather use the shoulder muscles back here to try to press the pinky edge of your palm into the wall, and almost like you're trying to peel the thumb side of your hand off the wall. Some of you might have that rotation, I don't, but you might be able to actually peel, I'm thinking about it, peeling the thumb side of the hand and an index finger off the wall while pressing the pinky edge of the hand into the wall. Woo! Okay, and then release. Big rotation there. Come back. Actually, come back to the front of the mat standing. Hello, Nina G. Welcome in. All right. What we'll do today is when we initiate the arms going up overhead, we can do it from external rotation, bring the arms up overhead. And the biggest thing is as your arms go up overhead, you know what? Let me give you the top view here of my hands. Okay. You want to try your best to press the pinky edge of the palms toward each other. This will be what's called external rotation, though it turns your palms in toward each other. So a lot of people think it's internal, but that's the forearms that are doing, or it's just the visual of the palms turning inward, but that's not what's happening. If you do external rotation here, we'll just go through it real quick. So external rotation, right? Internal rotation. Go up. This is internal rotation. External rotation. Keep the external rotation. Go up. Internal rotation. External rotation. Okay, and come back down. Okay? Is that a question or just a hello? Your frozen shoulder with these exercises are happy. Thank you. Okay, cool. Good. Hello, Emma. All right, so we do external rotation here, like this, and stick with the external rotation as you go up. And if you do have frozen shoulder, it may not be able to go up any higher, but if you can, you just keep externally rotating. Think pinkies lead the way. Eventually your hands probably will have to come in front of your face, okay? And here, I'd like you to press the pinky edge of the palm into each other the best you can, at whatever height you can, and then try to reach up through the pinkies as you start to look up towards your palms, towards your thumbs. Press the pinky edge of the hands toward each other, and that will be external rotation. Pinky edge of the hands into one another, small finger into each other. Okay, that's Urdhva Hastasana. On the exhale, please bow to the earth, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Step left foot back, exhale. Now, as we rise to high lunge, arms externally rotate, retract, and then we climb upwards, hands to the sky. Eventually your palms come together, pinky edge of the palm presses into each other, shoulders up towards the ears to get the palms together. Okay, open up warrior two. Let's do our arm rotations here. Internally rotate the arm bones. Exhale, externally rotate the arm bones. Pinky edge of the palm up to the sky. Thumbs down towards the ground. Inhale. Inhale. Reverse warrior. Inhale. Hands to the ground. Exhale. Plank pose. Rotate the biceps forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Slide hands and feet wide, 3 parts. Inhale. Soften. Stretch the belly long. Release. All fours or plank. Exhale, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. Rotate the arms externally. Retract the scapula, rise. Try to get the hands to touch in front of your face. Press the pinky edge of the palms together, reach the arms up. Open up warrior two. Okay, now let's do the external, internal rotation. Inhale, internal. Exhale, external. Inhale. reverse. Hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, step forward, inhale, half lift. Exhale, bow forward. Rise to the sun, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms rotate out, then rise. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward fold. A little bit of movement, inhale, half lift. Right foot back, exhale. High lunge, rotate, rise. Open warrior two. Reverse warrior, inhale. Hands to the ground, exhale, slow and controlled. Plank. Rotate the biceps forward. Chaturanga. Slide hands and feet wide, inhale. Soften. Inhale. Release. Plank or all fours. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky. Step. High lunge, rotate the arms. Open up, warrior two. Reverse. Exhale, hands to the ground, pivot the back hip, closed. Step forward, half lift. Exhale, bow forward. To the sun, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. To the earth, bow. Half lift. You can walk, step, or hop to the Chaturanga. Slide hands and feet wide. Inhale, three part. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, release. Press to plank or all fours. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky. Step forward. Rise, high lunge. Open warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle preparation, forearm to the thigh, hand to the hip. Groins go back. Slide the right fingertips to the inside of the right foot or on the block. Let's peel the left shoulder. It can go up to the ear a little bit like this, and then back, retract it. Now, rotate the palm face up to the sky and just keep peeling the left thumb back into external rotation, and hopefully that guides your chest open more. Keep that and reach the right pinky to the sky, left pinky to the sky, left thumb to the ground. Hold that. Keep rotating until you feel the muscles behind the scapula, the rotator cuff muscles there, activating. Hold. Try to almost pin the thumb side of your hand towards your thigh while lifting the pinky side of your hand up to the sky. Let's do a full breath in, full breath out. One more. Okay, and release. Back heel pivots upward, front foot out to the right, left hand to the left, right hand to the thigh. Okay, first just kind of melt, let your shoulder go into retraction. For many of you, it's going to be easier to go shoulder more towards the ear first, then retract. Then spiral the arm bone externally. Reach back for your foot for a thigh stretch. The back arm here is also externally rotating. So instead of kind of grabbing like this, I'm wrapping my hand over my foot and then spiraling the bicep upward for external rotation of the arm. Press the chest forward. and gently press the foot back into the hand for the activation of the quads. One more. All right. Release the thigh stretch. And let's see, I wanted to, how do I get there? Okay, so let's actually go left hand down, but like in alignment with your left knee, right foot back into a modified version of side plank. And watch the left shoulder. You're gonna see if you can get the shoulder blade to adjust instead of in what's called, we kind of went over anterior tilt of the shoulder blade. It's where the shoulder blade climbs over the shoulder. That is, or over the rib cage, that's what we do for bound postures. Do the opposite. So as you see how I kind of externally rotate and then the scapula goes down the rib cage. Then it's not just down, but it's actually kind of like sucks or pushes into my rib cage as a result. And you can just, with the left knee down here, you can take a decent amount of weight off of the left hand so that you're not putting too much pressure in the shoulder while you're doing this. But you see the internal rotation sends my shoulder forward. The external rotation sends the shoulder back. Okay, and what we're gonna try to do today is external rotation there. And then once you get into that external rotation, to push the ground away. Okay. Keeping the external rotation. Right arm to the sky, maybe you want to go over the ear. Some of you want to get a little bit more intense with this posture, you can by sending your left leg forward just for fun. Put a little weight into the shoulder. Okay, and release. We can simply take a breath in, lean forward as you lower. Slide hands and feet wide, 3-part. Inhale. Soften, shoulders back, heart forward. Pull the chest to the front of the yoga mat. And release. Plank. Exhale, down dog. Let's take a full breath in. Full breath out. One more. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. Rotate the arms, rise. Open warrior 2. Reverse. Side angle preparation, forearm to the thigh, hand to the hip. Groins go back, left hand comes down, fingertips to the ground. Start to initiate the tuck of the tail and peel your right shoulder back. Now, currently you see I'm in an internal rotation. We're going to switch that to external rotation. And this is a good angle for you to watch my arm bone. This is internal. This is external. You see how my scapula retracts as I go into external rotation? So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to actively, with this rotation of the arm, open my chest and try to pull my thumb side of the hand down towards my hip, where the pinky side of the hand is going to try to reach up to the sky. You may or may not have more or less rotation as me. It's not necessarily how much rotation you have in comparison to someone else, but more so, do you have those muscles activating and working hard to try to externally rotate the arm bone? And the action is pull the thumb down, press the pinky side of the arm up to rotate the bicep to the sky. Okay, and release. Back knee comes down, setting up for our twisted monkey, thigh stretch. Right hand out to the right, left hand to the knee. Bend the back knee for your back foot. Okay. Let's get the front shoulder first. It's important for us today that we understand that the weight-bearing arm can externally rotate. So I find it's easiest to go up a little to the ear, then spin the shoulder around and allow that action to happen at the scapula where the bottom wingtip kind of nudges my chest forward. Okay, and then reach back for your foot. You might find that your shoulder punches forward again. Just keep it back by rotating the arm out. And a gentle press of the foot back into the hand to activate the quads. You could have a strap around your foot if it's not accessible to grab your foot. All right, release the thigh stretch. Okay, bring the back knee in a little closer. Right hand more to the, in line with the right knee. And step the left foot back. Adjust your right knee as needed. And I'm gonna show you that front angle again. So the idea here is most of us, when we weight bear, we just go to the path of least resistance, meaning the muscles that are strongest. For a lot of us, that's our chest muscles. It doesn't quite work when we do side plank or any sort of back bending where the arm's back behind us. So we have to learn how to strengthen the muscles that externally rotate the arm and bring the scapula behind the chest. Okay, it's totally doable. It just takes a lot of training the shoulder to externally rotate when weight bearing and to be back here. Okay, it's totally possible and you can do it. Now, once you get that, lock it in by externally rotating and holding, still pressing through the entire palm. So if you find that you're just kind of dumping into the outer edge of the hand, make sure that you're not sacrificing the wrist joint there. Press your thumb into the ground, press your index finger into the ground, keep the external rotation. Optionally, if you want to increase the intensity of this, you can reach the right leg out to the side and perhaps left arm over the ear, just for fun. Some of you are like, that's fun. Okay, place the knee back down. Place the hand back down. And now if you did that, really working that external rotation, you're gonna feel that, of course, we're on the top of the back of the scapula there. Take a breath in, arch the back. Let's go to down dog as you exhale. Take the right leg to the sky on the inhale. Bend the knee and open up the hip. Let's stretch open the abdomen. Keep the left armpit somewhat lifted. Stretch the right waistline. Straighten the right leg, square the hip. Step right foot forward. Place the back knee down. Bring the hands to the front thigh. Come up and pause. Draw the two knees toward each other so that the hips are not sagging all the way down, but there's a little lift in the groins. And now use your hands to kind of leverage a lift of the rib cage off of the pelvis. So I pull the belly and ribs up. And then send the rib cage forward. Let's get the arms open into a cactus shape. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Start to rotate the biceps facing back, so externally rotate the arms. Palms up, elbows pressed to the sky. Lift the chest, press the ribs up. Now reach the hands back behind you. And release hands to the ground. Very well done. Come to plank pose. And chaturanga. Take your left forearm across the mat. Ardha Bakasana, bend your right knee. Reach for the foot. Take a thigh stretch here. Okay, release the thigh stretch. We'll do the other side. I think about reaching back through my left knee. You can see my whole rib cage changes over here on the left side. I reach my left knee back and I press my left ribs forward in opposition. That gives me a nice lengthening through the whole thigh, but also the psoas, hip flexors all the way up through the abdomen. Reaching the left knee back. Okay, release the Ardha Bhekasana. Come to all fours or plank pose. Exhale to down dog. Please take the left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hips, stretch open the left abdomen. Breathe into your left side, creating some space. The inhales will stretch the inside of the abdomen, lengthen the rib cage away from the hips. Okay, straighten the legs, square the hip. Step left foot forward. Back knee comes down. Let's come up, Anjaneyasana preparation. A big key of this pose is to actually send your rib cage forward without, over pressing the hips down. So pull the knees toward each other, give some resistance in the groins there. Stretch the right belly up and send the ribs forward. Come into a cactus shape. Let's just, for a moment, this is internal rotation with cactus arms, and this is external rotation. We're gonna go for external rotation. The palms will be more towards the sky. Send the ribs forward, send the chest forward. Keep the external rotation of the arms and then start to stretch the hands back behind you. And release. Step into plank pose, please. Lower all the way to the ground. Okay. I'm gonna reach back, grab both feet. Many of you are gonna benefit from putting a pillow, something soft. I only have a block nearby, so I'm gonna use that, but I don't suggest it at all. Just to give you an image of putting a pillow under your abdomen or rib cage, okay? This will be a lot easier for many of you. I suggest flexing the feet to start. Once you have the feet, then you can point them, okay? The shoulders, you see how my hands are on the insides? So here's the outside of grabbing the outside. That's more internal rotation, totally fine. If I climb one hand at a time over, thumb up. I guarantee, watch this carefully, someone here, almost probably 25% of you will do this. You'll rotate inward to grab the inside of the foot like this, and you'll be completely stuck. We want to rotate outward, okay, the biceps upward to grab the inside of the foot. Now, if you've been doing this with me, you should probably let go and take a break for a second because you'll run out of steam. But the idea here is, we can just try it again with one foot, that your chest is open, your pectorals are open, your biceps are rolling upward into external rotation, okay? We could just let's do that once at a time. So rotate the arm out, begin to kick the foot back, keep the chest forward towards the block, half bow. Ardha Dhanurasana. Okay, then release. Let's put the left foot down, bend the right, reach back, thumb is facing up, pectorals are open, bicep is externally rotating, kick the foot back. And release. Now you could stick with just Ardha, what's the pose? Dhanurasana, or you can do both sides. So significantly more challenging, of course. You could have your head if you're, something like this. But you just gotta be mindful as you come down, if you've got a block under your forehead, you gotta remember that that's there. So don't slingshot out of it and then land on the block. You'll be cursing me out. Okay, so Make sure you come down slowly. Kick the feet back, roll the shoulders in external rotation so the biceps are facing up. This is a big stretch of the pectoral muscles, you might notice. I'm pressing my chest to the front of the mat while I'm kicking my legs to the back of the mat. Those are oppositional energies. One more breath. And release. Remember, there's a block. Okay. And come on out. Come to seated position with your toes tucked underneath. And here's where we can really get that external rotation of the arm bone. Take your left hand and literally just bring it back to the heel. So again, don't do something like this. Just palm rotates out, grabs the heel. Your shoulder will have to come back to grab that. Send your rib cage forward. As you lift up with your chest, rotate the arm bone externally. So the elbow will kind of come in like that to turn the bicep out. And your hand might wind up on the inside of your heel. That's fine. Okay. Right hand can just go behind the head for now. Send the chest forward into a back bend. Send the chest forward. Now, as you press the rib cage to the sky, press down through your left hand, spin the bicep out, spin outward. Some of you want to go a little deeper, you can bend the left elbow. And then you just simply come back down. Okay? Other side, right hand. I think that's probably the best angle I can give you for this, unfortunately. But we'll give you another angle, why not? Okay, so here we go. Let me go diagonal. This should be probably the easier. Okay, so rotate out, swing it around. Now, when I rise, so I'm gonna just increase the external rotation, and that's gonna pop my ribs and chest forward. That's what we're looking for, okay? So, I push down into the hand and rotate the arm as much as I can. This left ribs is pressing up to the sky. Left hand can be behind the head if you like. It's also the option if you like, you can lift the left hand to the sky, but I want you to focus the right shoulder is not punching forward, but it's rolling out, and you're pressing your left ribs to the sky. External rotation of the right arm bone. Okay, and then come on down, release. All right, so now let's come back to our Dhanurasana, our bow pose. Belly on your bolster or pillows. You can place your forehead on the blocks in order to grab the feet. See if you can find that external rotation if it's possible. Sometimes it's just too much, so you will just grab your outer edges of your feet, and that's totally fine. Again, you can do half. That's totally good too. You don't have to do the full variation. If you can get 1 foot, that's amazing. Stay with that. Okay. Then kick your feet back to open up the chest. See, my feet aren't too narrow here. Some people kind of think that there's, I don't know, something great about keeping the knees narrow, but I am squeezing my feet inward into my hands, and that stretches the pectoral muscles. I'm not letting my knees like wing out completely, so they're not, just splaying out, but they are wide. Okay, remember there's a block there. Okay, and come on up. Okay, now external rotation in the arms for full camel. So as you rise up, you kind of corkscrew the arms, and that will send the rib cage forward. And you want to maintain that, because when you go up into the full camel, you want to press your chest to the sky the best you can. That's what feels like it decompresses or makes it really nice on the spine, rather than like kind of crampy or bone on bone compression. We want to really get that length. So you take your hands, feet wide, by the way. It'll be easier on your shoulders. The narrower your feet, the harder it is on the shoulders. Also, you can point your feet, but it's easier on the feet, harder on the back, because it requires a deeper back bend to be able to do this. So if you have a real deep back bend, then you can have their feet pointed. Otherwise, most humans have the feet tucked, it'll be easier. Okay, so shoulders rotate out, externally rotate the arms, and keep rotating the arms out. You can just watch this one time. Rotate out as you push down, and this might be where you stop. See, I'm in a big arch position, and then I press the chest to the sky eventually. And don't worry about the hips sending them so far forward, just press them forward as the chest goes to the sky. Pick up my ribs, pick up my belly, pick up my chest to the sky, rotating the arms out. Okay, and then move the hips back to come out of that position. Okay, multiple ways to hold the head. You can bring the chin in, you can look at your chest. Many variations you can do there. You can do what I did, was let it go lengthen outward. That's a little bit more challenging for most people. So don't worry about what your head position is, just that you're not feeling any discomfort in the neck, okay? So hands on the heels, toes tucked, and just like you did in this twisted monkey, spiral the arms outward like you're really opening up the pectoral muscles. External rotation of the arm bones, and the chest will pop forward. Now, as you push down into your hands, rotate the arms out and press the chest to the sky, eventually sending the hips forward. But really think more about the chest pressing to the sky and pushing down through your heels with your hands. And release. Okay, full camel pose right there. If you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. I'm happy to kind of go over anything that might be unclear, but essentially this external rotation, while in a back bend, it's gonna increase the back bend, make it easier and more sustainable. Okay, so lastly, I'd love for us to go over a wild thing pose. Of course, we're gonna go to the wall. Many of you have done this with me before, so you're familiar with this. So come to a wall. If you haven't done this with me before, I'll give the cues as if you've never heard it before. So many of you may not have. Right hand goes above shoulder height. Right shoulder goes up to the ear. Maybe it's better from this angle. And then you simply externally rotate and send the shoulder back, okay? I like to, a lot of times I teach it like this: up, back, around. But you could also create a loop, like internally rotate, shoulder climbs over, and then loop it around into an external rotation. So you rotate and the shoulder spins outward. If you're struggling, if you're externally rotating but your shoulder's stuck forward, then follow step 1 up, step 2 back, step 3 rotate, okay? Your chest should move forward. Then you can move your torso away from the arm and you'll get a big stretch of the pectoral muscles here. I like to sometimes bend my knees like I'm going to a chair pose. Send the chest high, hips low, stretching the belly all the way through the chest. All right, and then come out. Let's go to the second side. Wild thing at the wall. Hand goes up above shoulder height. We go, again, to break down the steps, it's 3 steps. We go up to the ear, back behind, so that's the retraction, and externally rotate. Many of you have done this with me before, and I'd like you to try doing it in one fell swoop. So you can go the antithesis, you can go to the opposite. You can go into internal rotation, like you're gonna do a bind, and then loop it around into one fell swoop until you feel the external rotation happens all the way through the chest. Again, if you haven't done this with me and it's not working to just roll the shoulder all the way around, then up, back, around, okay? Then you turn away and maybe find a chair pose. As you turn away, the rotation of the arm will start to unwind itself because it is trying to avoid, or the tension of the stretch of the muscles will pull it into internal rotation. Can you keep it externally rotated? Okay, cool. Okay, no questions, so I guess we're good. Setting up for wild thing pose. We take as if we're doing side plank, okay? But with the left foot behind, and we come on down. I like to shorten the stance, so the right leg, which would normally be straight, you bend it a little bit. That'll give you leverage. The right shoulder, you can do, again, the steps. It would be up, back, and around, or you can just simply roll it into position by externally rotating and seeing if the shoulder will cooperate in that motion, that one fell swoop action. But again, if it doesn't happen, I'm just assuming many of you have practiced with me before and done this, but a lot of you have not as well. So, you know, what others have practiced is this action for, you know, about a year or two now, up, back, and around. And it may take some time to really kind of break those pieces apart so that you can eventually get that nice little loop. Okay, now we form a back bend, an arch in the spine, left hand to the head, and move your weight away from the right hand and into the feet as you come up. So into the feet, then use your feet and come up. The right arm is externally rotating. Okay, chest is to the sky. Okay, coming back down. If any point you feel something weird, there's something is missing, right? So you want to make sure you don't, you know, just kind of crank into something and pray that it works itself out. It's not how the body works. You have to listen to it, and then you have to back off, reassess. What am I missing? Okay, so here we go again on the other side. Again, it's like side plank. You can always measure it like this. Foot goes back behind, and you come down a slightly shorter stance. We do the loop of the shoulder until the chest comes into a back bend. Form that nice arch in the low back. And then the weight, we put it out of the shoulder, so we're not putting so much pressure in the shoulder on the way up. We put it into the feet. Okay, we go this way and up with using the leg strength. And as we go up, the shoulder rotates. There's a kind of a tempo to it that makes sense that you can eventually find. Come on out, sticking the butt out to come down. All right. Hope that was revelatory or enjoyable for many of you to get into those external rotators while in going through the back bends. And like I said, you don't always have to be doing a back bend to do external rotation. We did a little bit in plank in the beginning, and you can do a lot of that external rotation in arm balances, which we'll get to at another class. All right, let's go to right side pigeon. So from downward facing dog, you can start to wind down, right shin across the mat. And any variation of pigeon that you'd like. Most importantly, as we practice asana, is that we're trying to reveal the unknown. We're seeking out where our awareness is left in the dark, the areas of our body that we have not intentionally or deliberately awakened yet, or that have fallen asleep over the course of time because we simply don't use certain muscles or don't do certain types of movement. And try to seek those out in order to shine light in those areas and tap into our potential physicality to get stronger, to reawaken movement. Come on out slow. Press the down dog. Take a breath. Left shin across the mat. pigeon pose, forward fold of your choice. Okay, slowly coming on out. Down dog. Come forward to plank. Lower chaturanga. Roll onto your back. Let's take a gentle supine twist. So left leg straightens, hips go to the right. Right knee across. Come back to center. Shift your hips to the left. Come back to center. Hips back to center. And give a little hug of the knees. And release into any version of Shavasana that you wish. Once you get your body in position, take a breath. awareness back to your breath. As you deepen your breath, begin to awaken fingers and toes. Roll to your right side and come up to a seated position. Take a moment to breathe and observe. Place the palms together in front of the heart. We bow in honor of this body. With gratitude for its strength, for its capabilities. Thank you all for tuning in today and practicing external rotation with me. Grateful to have the opportunity to share this with you. Namaste. All right, everybody, thank you so very much. Hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you on Tuesday for those of you that are watching live. Also, there is a 200-hour teacher training that starts September 19th, 2021, that is. If you are watching this live or somewhere close to the date and you have interest in becoming a certified yoga teacher and deepening your practice in a big way, then send me a direct message on Instagram or email me theyogimat@gmail.com and we'll discuss the details. Of course, you're on my website right now, so you can click the 200-hour tab and find out some more information. All right, let's see if anybody said anything in chat. Feels incredible in my shoulders. This immersion course is worth every penny. Awesome. I appreciate implementing humans no longer the 90-minute focus and NSDR. Appreciate implementing humans no longer than 90-minute focus and NSDR. I got you. Yeah. That's just kind of how I've learned to. I wouldn't say I'm implementing that. Only that it makes sense that most yoga classes are 75, 60 to 90 minutes, I guess, on that respect. It does align. Denise Galvin, my shoulders and chest feel awesome. Thanks for the workout. Awesome, Denise. Happy to hear that. Sabui says, my arm ball socket joint is very unstable as it moves too freely, torn labrum, especially right shoulder, which makes Wild Thing feel uncomfortable at the back of the arm triceps. It's probably, it's hard to say what that is. You might have a little tear in that muscle as well, Savui. So it's okay if you don't do a pose to the fullest extent, but let's say you do the actions and you find ways of modifying, so you can do Wild Thing a little differently. You could do it in a way like this, where your knee is down, just like a side plank, and take a lot of weight off the shoulder, and you can then get into the back bend here, and maybe that would suit you a little bit better than doing like a full, the idea is you want to get into the strength of the shoulder. You don't want to be making it worse. So if you've already got a pre-existing injury, no matter how well we activate the muscles and integrate actions and whatever alignment we choose, it's not always the case that it's going to feel good in every pose. I usually don't avoid something completely, but rather find a way to do it that is still gives me the benefits that I'm looking for and advances my awareness of the area that is uncomfortable, because then I treat that as an opportunity to learn. But you have to be a little creative in that way, and you have to kind of be exploratory, because it's really an opportunity, if you allow it to be, to figure out how to do something with an injury and serve your body's health rather than avoiding that area, because you don't want to lose awareness of that area, and you certainly want to increase awareness and ability to utilize the area. But some things you have to really work slowly and very repetitively until they start to take. But I've had three torn rotator cuff injuries, and it took a long time to heal from, but I didn't avoid anything. I just found ways of staying in it and then really warming up. So making sure even before doing this practice, I would say, before practicing with me, do some shoulder exercises, especially this one here. And anything that I bring up in this immersion, you can start to utilize within the, before even doing the immersion. Sometimes you got to do the extra mile. Nina says, Nina says, thanks, Matt. Class was well worth waiting for. Sorry, Nina. Shoulders feel amazing. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. You too, Nina. Lynn says, do you remember this rotation for people with bursitis? Do you recommend, this rotation for people with bursitis? Sure. The thing is with bursitis is that the inflammation of the bursa, no matter what you do, it'll probably irritate it. So sometimes you need a certain amount of rest. In the case of bursitis, I think ice would be a good idea. Sometimes ice is not a good idea. Also, acupuncture would be really good for something like bursitis. Until the inflammation of the bursa goes down, then you can start to work on stuff like this, where you start strengthening. But otherwise, when you've got this fluid-filled sac, this bursa that's underneath here, that is already inflamed, so any movement is just going to irritate it and inflame it more, causing more pain. It doesn't mean that the movements you're doing is bad. It just means that there is movement around this inflamed tissue, and that's just going to create friction and heat and then inflame it more. It might make it better by putting in better alignment, but I would say, first of all, if you've got bursitis, you should consult somebody about it and what to do. But, someone in the professional field of physical therapy or soft tissue work, whatever. But you want the inflammation to go down before you start messing with it, is my opinion. But there are, I've had bursitis too, and there are ways around the inflammation of it. We get really good shoulder alignment. But, this is something that it's hard to talk about in a general way. It has to be very specific from person to person. That sounds great, Matt. Thank you so much. Otherwise, I am feeling really good after this class. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Bowie. Bernadette says, thanks so much. See you on Tuesday. Indeed. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. Have a beautiful day and see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.